Hi, this is Jeanette Waldy, the Minimalist Crone. I wanted to share with you today two of my favorite decks I have. And these decks are actually the oldest ones I have in my collection. As a minimalist, I give away my decks when the time feels right, or they tell me that they need to go to someone else. So I don't tend to collect a lot of decks or hang on to a lot of decks. But these two have stayed with me for over a decade. Both are by Brian Froud, a world-famous fantasy artist. People will know him from The Labyrinth, where he was the artistic director. And his wife, Wendy Froud, still makes puppets and dolls and beautiful stuff. The first deck that Brian came out with was the Fairy Oracle, which is still in print. It is a beautiful deck full of both light and dark fairy. It very well expresses the chaoticness, topsy-turviness, both the light and dark of the fairy world, or seelie or unseelie, as some like to call it. The second deck is the Heart of Fairy Oracle, which Wendy and Brian Froud came up with a few years later. This one is no longer in print, I'm sad to say. In some ways, you can tell how Brian Froud's artwork has improved over the time frame. These cards are a little more defined than the previous deck. They still have that whimsical nature, as well as both the dark and light aspects. The crone is one of my favorites, mainly because I identify with the crone since I am one. But it's also a great example of the nuance of the card, because on one side the crone looks scary, and on the other she looks funny and laughing. As I said, he includes both light and dark images in both decks. These are great cards to use when you need a cosmic 2x4. Or something to get to the real heart of the matter without equivocation. And the cards tend to be very blunt. As I said, I use them when I feel I'm dealing with a chaotic situation or getting chaotic energy from a client to help cut through the noise to get to the core of the matter. The other unique thing I've done with these decks is, as soon as I got the Heart of Fairy Oracle, the cards told me in no uncertain terms that they wanted to work together. So I actually combined them in one large deck, which sometimes can be a challenge to handle because it makes it so friggin' big. But it works very, very well in terms of working with the fairies and doing a reading. I usually have the client hold the deck, since it is so big. There's so many cards, because it is a double deck, to put their energy in, and then I have them pick a certain number of cards at random from the deck, and literally to make a mess of the cards, because fairies like to play. So that is the Fairy Oracle and Heart of Fairy Oracle from Brian Froud. I hope you enjoy these cards. As I said, the Fairy Oracle is still in print and is available. The Heart of Fairy is not. If you're interested in a reading with this deck, reach out to me through my social media, including Facebook, or I do in-person readings at Phoenix Rising Metaphysical Shop in Langley, British Columbia on Tuesdays, and occasionally on a Saturday or Sunday. And you can book those through the shop. Thank you, and have a great day.